Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
We get to Boz and Dorit, the unlikely friendship, and I love this move. And this also is frustrating because this should point more towards who Garcelle really is. Because she's like, Garcelle met with me before the season and I was trying to get the tea and I'm asking her, details about the ladies, and she refused to tell me anything because she wanted me to form my own opinions. Mm-hmm. That should speak volumes, especially considering throughout this season, Boz, people have approached you on camera to try to sway you about other people on the show. Yeah. Garcelle didn't do that. Nope. But you're cool with the people that did, and you have an issue with Garcelle because she questions Dorit's sketchy break-in. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's where I'm like, oof, I don't love that. I don't love the way this is trending. But Garcelle obviously had some words about the friendship early on and the comments about Boz and Dorit. And Boz in an after show was like, maybe she's jealous. And Garcelle's like, nope, definitely not that. Absolutely not jealous. Garcelle's issue was more of a personal issue from what it sounds like because Boz and Dorit are fine. Yep. Everyone's cool with this. They have no issue with this. She had an issue with the first dinner because I guess that scene dragged on for an hour. They didn't address the table. Okay, fine. Her issue is that her friendship with Sutton has been under scrutiny since they became friends. Yeah. The minute that Boz and Dorit saddle up, it's like, oh, cool. They're great. No one has any words for them. So she felt personally attacked because of the response. Yep. Fair. And that's my problem. And that's what bugs me.
Well, that's what you said in the beginning of the episode. We can plainly see what the issue is with the show. We were talked about, or if you're Sutton and Garcelle as friends, they were talked about the entire time for the last 3 seasons. It's always coming up. We know why that happens. They're good friends. Sutton doesn't know how to defend herself, and she doesn't know how to speak. Garcelle speaks up for her. Makes sense to me. But they get knocked down so much, and I guess along the ways of Boz and Dorit becoming friends, everybody's okay with it. Everybody's cool with it. Don't come for them. Don't talk about anything like that. We have to spend about a 5-minute segment on the reunion talking about why that's wrong for Garcelle to do that. Actually, what it is a double standard.
Yes.
And all of us are now being talked into it being the other way because there's a group of these women controlling the narrative.
Yes.
That's what this is. That's what the problem with the whole show is, because when one person does it, it's okay. Yeah, whatever. The fact that they asked the question, why is Garcelle up in arms about this when she's friends with Sutton and nobody's coming? You are coming at her for that.
You have
That's what I'm like, where's the disconnect? How are you guys not putting this together?
That's the problem. That's the issue. Yep. The self-awareness on this show is a big, fat 0.
It's not hypocritical. That's what they're trying to paint it as. They're trying to paint it as hypocritical because you can be friends with Sutton and you can defend her all you want, but Dorit isn't allowed to have a friend?
That's not what she said.
That's not what she said at all.
That's not what she's saying. She also knows Dorit and is questioning some things because the Dorit she's seeing now and the Dorit we're all seeing now, as Kyle pointed out, is different than the Dorit of the past. So she has questions, and Boz is, and I can appreciate where Boz is coming from here. I didn't appreciate that people thought I was being manipulated in this friendship. That's saying that I can't think for myself. That's fair. But the retort if you think that she could say something to change my opinion of you, you don't think very highly of yourself. I was like, whoa. Like, we just escalated to a whole different level because she has questions, which is what the point of this fucking show is. And leads me to a point that I talked with Dev about for a while earlier. The problem with this show, everybody is so soft and everything is so fucking serious that we get stuck on mundane bullshit for multiple episodes that drag on so goddamn long that we lose interest in the show, we lose interest in the cast, we forget what's going on elsewhere because they're pissed off that somebody said something mean about their husband, and we have to talk about that forever. We're upset because someone's questioning Kyle about Morgan Wade, who you did a fucking music video in lingerie with and made out with, and people have questions. Oh my God, I can't answer that. And it's a fucking issue for an entire season. The problem is, and if you look back at OG Roni, if you look back at OG Beverly Hills, look at all of the greats, Atlanta, what they are so good at in those franchises early was being able to move the fuck on. They could say some atrocious, horrible, life-altering shit to each other, to their face, every fucking episode. And guess what? They're cheersing the following episode because they're over it. We have gotten too soft. We're taking shit way too fucking seriously. We need to grow the fuck up, put on our big girl pants, and fucking come to work and entertain the audience. Stop getting stuck on nothing, because that's what this show is now come to. It is nothing. You don't do anything. We are not entertained. We have not been entertained. Everyone's screaming from the fucking rooftops, this show sucks balls, for years, yet they don't do anything to change it. We do the same thing over and over again. We bend the knee to the Fox Force 5, and we get the same fucking season year in and year out, and they're going to shove it up our ass again next year. They're not going to change a goddamn thing, except the one person that stands up to these idiots. Garcelle's gone. Fucking grow up, toughen up, and move the fuck on. I haven't ranted in a while. And fuck.
They're going to shove next season up our ass?
Yes.
God.
I know. That's where I'm at with this stupid ass show.
Oh, no.
Like, we watch this every week. What has changed?
That would actually be more entertaining than watching.
Watching them shove a season up our ass?
Shoved up my ass. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's very frustrating to watch such a great franchise just slowly drown.
Yeah.
But we get to Boz and Kyle, and obviously the cold comment comes back up, and now Kyle has to, backpedal and try to defend herself instead of just saying, yeah, didn't start off great. I apologize.
I don't even understand this conversation.
She tries to say,
producer that I'm friends with,
Sally Ann.
She walked me into the house. I said, "Where's Boz's room? You also had me over. I wanted to really make sure that I could come over after your surgery to be there. We all know why you were there.
To fucking shit on Dorit.
Yeah,
and she calls you out for that.
What's Kyle doing?
I don't know, but that's the thing with Boz. Like, Boz isn't going to be like, oh, you're right. Boz is going to stand and say,
Kyle's only retort, well, you don't remember the first conversation where we had a really good time, but you remember when I was talking shit on Dorit.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me, Kyle, you guys talked about nothing.
That's what
at all.
She says. The conversations weren't memorable.
Not memorable at all. And the one thing that was memorable was when it was very obvious that you walked in after she just had surgery to try to sway her on Dorit. That's all we got there. That's all we did. You're not doing yourself any help at all. By trying to figure out this whole, I went in, I don't need the story.
The story makes it worse.
The story makes it so much worse because we already know what you're trying to do and you're making it worse for yourself.
Yep.
And it's stupid.
And it's, again, the same Kyle Richards reunion performance that we get every single. This one's so easy.
But she gets to sit in the first chair every year.
It's so fucking
14 years.
easy, though. Just say, that conversation didn't go great.
Yeah.
I was going through a lot at the time, but I'm glad we were able to connect at the end of the season. How hard is that? And that's the truth. Instead, you can't possibly ever look bad. God forbid. And which is ironic because it just makes you look worse. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. I'm glad we got all that out to get to the real topic that I have 3 pages on. That's a lot of pages for one topic.
How about this? Before we get into the topic,
okay,
let's do a little ad here.
Okay.
Take a little ad break.
I like that.
I think that's going to get us going.
I like that.
And I've got the right ad for you. It's our friends over there at Wayfair, and we can't tell you guys enough about Wayfair because every time that I need something, if I'm doing a home improvement, and I live in an apartment, but that doesn't mean I can't do home improvement. It doesn't mean that I don't have a certain standard of living.
Absolutely.
Wayfair has established that standard of living. That's what happens here. Because when I go to Wayfair, I'm looking at all the little things that I've got going on in my apartment. I want to put some shelves over here. I want to hang some paintings. I want to do anything that I want in my bathroom because bathrooms are boring.
My bathroom sucks. I need Wayfair to zhuzh my bathroom up, actually.
You absolutely do. And you know that when you go to Wayfair, you're going to get great quality. You're going to have endless choices. Whatever you need to fit your room, whatever you need to fit your bathroom, any home improvement project that you guys have going on, go over to Wayfair. You're going to make your life so much easier. It's made my life a lot easier because I can sit there and scroll for hours and find just the right piece that's going to bring my apartment to life, and it's going to make my home improvement a lot easier. And you can shop the best selection of home improvement online. Get renovating with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Now we'll get back into Steele's 3 pages because it's going to take a lot here.
This is going to take a while, and this is probably going to be a 2-part episode simply because of time restraints and loading it to the platforms. But let's get into Garcelle and all the drama surrounding. We start out with Erika Jayne on Entertainment Tonight saying, I want more from Garcelle. And when we go to current banana, and when we get to the actual stage, she says, we just want the juicy scoop. Garcelle's response is, I wish there was one. It's like, well, who are you dating? She's like, I'm not dating anybody. There's one guy I went on a couple of dates with. That was it. So her whole thing is that this is my life. What I'm showing you is in fact my life. If it's not interesting, I'm sorry, but here's what I have to offer, and this is what I'm giving you. And Erika's response sucks. She's like, well, I just wish you were more interesting, I guess.
It's the most expected Erika Jayne answer of all time, too, because that's going to be her only contribution the entire reunion, most likely. Because what else are we going to talk about? Hey, Erika, how's your home improvement going?
Dude.
Did you check in with Wayfair?
Hey.
Are you going to go look and say, oh my God, is that my coffee table? So that we stop talking about whatever
that coffee table was there in 2024.
Yeah, that's where you probably got the idea for the coffee table. But what are you doing? Have we seen Erika go out on any dates? Are you dating anybody, Erika? Probably. We hear about it.
You tell us
about you talking about how you see a hot dude and you want to hook up with them. How about we see you out on a date? How about a little one-on-one time with Erika Jayne post-divorce, just cutting loose a little bit?
Not with your therapist or interior designer.
Yeah, so what the fuck are you doing? Pot calling the kettle black. And if this is what Garcelle is offering, and I truly believe, yeah, she's got kids in high school. They're about to go to college. She's talking about with Kyle how she's not really sure what she's going to do and how she's going to move on as a woman and a mother. She's got enough going on with her production company. We're seeing what she's doing. It's just not enough for you who, what, you're still reeling from a divorce a couple years ago? Well, some old fart?
The fact that she goes further into this and she's like, Kyle, Dorit, and myself, we've shown our nasty divorces, our lives falling apart, etc. Garcelle's like, I got divorced before I came on the show.
Yeah.
And even when she did come on, we did get that story about her sending out like an email blasting her ex-husband. So she did share about it, what she could. And here's the thing. Because Kyle chimes in too, which is so fucking funny. She's like, I've been showing so much for so long. On your terms, dude. Yeah. Like, that's not the same fucking thing at all. She's like, I had marital problems, kids, family. So why would you say that Kyle needs to give us more? Before I get to why Kyle needs to give us more, to build on what you said.
Which is probably actually, I wonder if anybody would even notice if we went back to last year's reunion or the year before that or the year before that, and we just pulled what you probably will have for a rant for why Kyle needs to show us more.
Yes.
If we just pulled that from a different episode, nobody would even notice.
No.
Because it's the same thing every year with Kyle. But with Erika, you can talk about your messy divorces all you want. Sucks to suck. You went through a shit divorce.
Yeah.
It's a real shame that you went through a shit divorce and had to do it on TV. That doesn't mean that you get some badge of honor because you got to show it. You went through a shitty life situation and you were on a TV show in which you had to show it.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, bro. That's a real shame. Garcelle's living a good life right now. What do you want her to do?
I know.
You want her to go through some misery so that she can be more interesting to you? You're not really that interesting. You married a 95-year-old bag of dirt.
Who fucking robbed
Who's
people.
A piece of shit who robbed people. And
to fund your lifestyle.
And now what? We're supposed to like pat you on the back like, great job, Erika.
Yeah, thanks for showing us that.
You married this dude who was 70 years older than you. I'm so proud of you.
Let's go back to when she was going through. What did you share? I can't tell you. I'm going through a legal case.
Congratulations. That's great TV.
But she didn't share anything. Anytime it was brought up, she would say, it's an ongoing legal issue. I can't talk about it.
It's like she's forced. That's the problem with Erika is she feels like she was pushed against her will to show all of these things, and she's going through all these lawsuits against her will, and she has to show it on TV. You do not have to be on this show.
No, but you are.
This is giving you so much undue stress that you feel like, oh, now everybody has to do this. Unfortunately, Erika, not everybody's going through this shit. You are, and you're choosing to be on the show, so you're choosing to show it. Garcelle's living a good life. What do you want from her?
No, it's fucking so hypocritical. It's so annoying. And look, we fell victim to it as well. And we already copped to it. And we rescinded our statement of saying, Garcelle's not doing enough this season, because along the way, she started doing what we love Garcelle to do. And that's when she asks the tough questions. She gets involved. She's not afraid to stand up to people. Like all the things that Garcelle is going, like that's what we're going to miss from this show is what she does so well. And that is those moments where she will stand up and say what we all want somebody to say. So for people to now drag her on the show because she doesn't have a lawsuit, because she's not going through a divorce, because she's successful, she's happy, her kids are thriving. She opened up about Oliver coming to her house, turning off the lights so that he wouldn't be able to get inside, so that he would have to leave while he was going through addiction. She did share. She did do enough. She's always done enough. And again, I apologize for ever questioning it, because now that we're facing RHOBH without Garcelle, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this show is going to be absolutely nothing. It's going to be a big dud because she's not there to challenge the other women. So for this group to all fucking join forces and try to take down Garcelle, which is clearly premeditated, they clearly got together and talked about this. We know that for a fact, because they let it slip that, hey, we talked about this off camera. I told you not to talk about this. It's like, well, then what else are you guys doing off camera? What are you and Erika and Dorit sitting at home discussing before you get here? And you're going to throw Garcelle under the bus because she's got a nice life? Are you jealous of that life? Probably. You
Most
probably
likely.
are. She's a self-made woman. She fucking came from nothing. She built a beautiful beach house. She's got a great production company. Her kids are doing really well. That's what she shared. That's her life. She's not hiding things. I promise you that, because guess what? In the world of Bravo, if she was hiding some shit, we would fucking know about it.
Yeah.
So this group is literally jealous of Garcelle and has gotten to the point now where Garcelle still will not fall in line with the wants and needs of Kyle Richards and the rest of her lackeys. And so you know what? It's time for Garcelle to go. But the thing they didn't think about, and it's going to fuck everybody else in the end, Garcelle doesn't need this shit. And she's going to walk, and now you're left with a bunch of women that no one's interested in because y'all talk about the same shit every fucking year, and it's all played up and produced, and we don't care anymore.
And you know who one of her best friends is? LVP. And you know where she's probably going to pop up at some point, because Oliver's probably going to be on VPR?
VPR.
She's going to pop up on VPR. She'll probably be a visitor on the villa. She'll do all of these things when she wants to on her time.
Yep.
Because she can afford to do that.
And she doesn't need the fucking paycheck.
She's not staring down a $35,000 thing that she has to get Martin Lawrence to redo her pool house.
She didn't just catch another lawsuit, Erika, that just came out like last week. So nice job, idiots. You just got rid of the one person that was not falling in line with your bullshit. Meanwhile, bestie to the left, Sutton, is silent the entire time. Doesn't say a fucking word, which is brutal. Like, absolutely fucking brutal. But
I do think that, like, part of me, and we already know what's going to happen. Sutton's going to get skewered next episode because that's how this works. And I think that what Sutton said is important when she does get to the dressing room after all of this.
Oh, yeah.
She knows it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
And she knows that, look, Garcelle might chump in, might do this, might do that.
Why would she?
I don't understand why she would at this point, but she might. She might just go fucking hell out there, which I would love if she does that, if she turns around based off of what we see at the end of the episode. But I think that Sutton's fucking petrified right now.
She's terrified.
And just is not looking for any more exposure. And that sucks for Garcelle because, one, we didn't really expect this. We didn't see this coming.
No.
We didn't see them going after Garcelle for crazy fucking reasons. I don't think Sutton saw it, but Sutton's not really worried about that right now. She's worried about herself next episode. So that's pretty much what we saw.
Yep. But we get to the reason that Garcelle says Kyle needs to show more, and that's Morgan Wade. And this is fairly well known and agreed upon.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you need to share more because you brought her on this show. You brought her into our lives and we want to know more. That's your fault. That's Morgan's fault, who, by the way, when Kyle tries to compare it to Garcelle's son, who was verbally assaulted by a cast member, telling him to get the fuck out. And then she's also talking about wanting to hook up with Oliver. That's not the same. That's a 14-year-old kid at one point versus a consenting adult in Morgan Wade. Yeah. That's apples to oranges. That's not even remotely the same thing. It's a bad fucking argument. And Kyle's big sticking point is, I was so hurt by you this season, Garcelle. I was so hurt by you. And Garcelle's like, look, I would be a hypocrite if all this shit's going on and I don't speak on it. Like, that's how this goes. And I need to stand by that. And that's something that Garcelle's always done. She stands in her laurels. Like, that's who she is.
And understands how these shows work.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
The big thing that everybody's missing in all of this. Garcelle understands, if I go through this whole season, I know none of these people are going to ask you about it. If I don't do that, that's what I know everybody wants to watch. You're talking about Morgan Wade out in the press. You're doing all these videos. You're doing all these photo shoots. You're caught talking to her. You're caught on dates with her. If I don't bring her up, everybody's going to say, why is no one bringing her up? And unfortunately, the way this show goes, they're going to say, why is Garcelle not bringing it up? Because we already know why Erika and Dorit and now Boz is falling in line, and Sutton, and everybody's not going to do it. But if Garcelle doesn't do it, it's going to be very apparent. So she understands her role on the show. Why is that a problem?
I don't know. And to make it worse, Kyle's like, I talked to you about this off camera. It's like, that's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem. Yep. And she's like, yeah, why didn't you do that on camera? And she's like, because I thought you were my friend. It's like,
why?
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with it? And since when, by the way? Because you two have never really gotten along. You've tolerated each other. Garcelle's made some efforts to try to, like, maybe warm up, and then you do some stupid shit, and she's like, nah, also, I'm
on
cool.
The heels of giving Garcelle shit for not showing her dating life, for going on a date with a guy for a couple of dates, we can't talk about Morgan Wade.
We can't even mention her name.
But we want Garcelle to talk about a guy that she went on a couple of dates with.
But we can't even say the name Morgan. It's like fucking Voldemort.
Look, in a nutshell, in a vacuum, I understand what Kyle's saying. I get it. Morgan got freaked out last year because there was too much press. Sucks. Should have seen that one coming, Kyle.
Oh, I'm sure it sucked for your fucking record sales.
I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, maybe she did get anxiety from it. Maybe she was a little upset about it. And you're trying to help her out. And you guys are close. You guys are friends, whatever you are. You're just trying to help her through this. And you feel like, yeah, you can go talk to the producers about this and say, hey, we're not going to talk about Morgan this year. And the producers will probably say, okay, Kyle.
You don't have to.
This is your show.
Unfortunately, yeah. That's exactly
You do whatever you want. But it doesn't mean that Garcelle doesn't have to.
Nope, it doesn't mean that anybody's not allowed to bring it up. And she's like, again, I thought you were my friend in regards to her talking to her off camera. Garcelle finally taps in Sutton. What did you say to me after that conversation? Yeah. And Sutton shit the bed so hard. And if I can't imagine how crushing, this was a test, by the way. This was Garcelle putting her money where her mouth is and being like, are you actually my friend? Yep. Will you back me up? What did you say? She goes, I said she wants to protect Morgan. She's like, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said it was a chess move. And now the funniest part is, instead of Garcelle being upset that her friend just fucking backstabbed her, Kyle's upset. Kyle's upset because of the chess move comment. You two together, this is the fucking craziest sentence, bro. When she said this, it's the first time in a long time we almost had a journal toss because I couldn't believe that Kyle Richards of the Fox Force 5 is saying, you two together, Garcelle and Sutton, are mean girls. This is shocking, Sutton. So shocking.
Sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't understand, and a lot of people are running with this, but I don't really understand how the scenes with Sutton and Garcelle talking about what's going on in the group and being a little shady is any different than any of the other scenes with any other 2 women, 3 women, 4 women on the other side. Is it? No.
It's so they're soft. They're too soft.
They are soft.
Everything's too fucking serious.
It's not even like, I don't even think it's soft necessarily. I think they're used to getting their way and the show being the way that they want it to go. That if there's other people, and that's why they go after Sutton every year. That's why they go after Garcelle every year. They're not friends with them. They're not getting in line, and they're talking about things that they want to talk about, and they have a true friendship.
Yes.
And they're upset about that.
Yeah, and you can see people online that just don't like Sutton and don't like Garcelle are jumping on that bandwagon of, yeah, it's like, no, what do you mean? This is the only two that have been trying to stand alone. Sutton's still trying to cross the line and be friends with those people. Garcelle's not, and she never will and never wants to.
You know what the difference is, too? When we see Sutton and Garcelle sitting there, if Sutton sits down with Tilly, which we don't see those scenes because why would we? If you see those two sitting together, they're not talking shit on Sutton.
No.
But let's flash over to Kyle, Dorit, and their husbands making fun of Erika, making fun of anybody else on the show.
Making fun of Sutton and her drinking.
They make fun of their own friends in a terrible way, but that's not mean girl behavior.
But they're mean girls.
But they're mean girls, yeah.
The Fox Force 5 is the definition of mean girl. Like,
I don't get it.
You treat people like shit and then they clap back or they have their own fucking opinions. Like, oh my God. Oh my word. Clutch my pearls. My, oh my. I never. Like, stop. Stop it. This is a housewife show. Yeah. What are we doing? Grow up. This is stupid. It's a stupid format.
It is.
Ooh. Rein it in. We're close. This made me laugh because she's like, well, what about a Chuck E. Cheese? It's like, hell yeah. And she's like, we laughed about the Morgan or the, just be a lesbian if you want to be a lesbian. We laughed about that together. I was completely genuine. We watched that scene. It felt pretty genuine to me. Was it like a shocking, like, oh shit, she actually said it? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it genuine? Yes. She was saying, just be your fucking self. No one really cares. Like, that's the best part. And look, I understand that there's more to this and it's like, it's a coming out thing and it's admitting. And I respect that. I'm not saying you have to do it on someone else's timeline. But what Garcelle's saying here is simply, you can be yourself and it's going to be okay.
Yeah. We all knew what she meant when she said it.
There was no...
Or the words, yeah. You could look at the words and say she shouldn't say it like that. Absolutely. That's fine. But we all knew the ground floor of that was just be yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Just do whatever the hell you want. Don't let anybody else dictate how you have to be. Don't let the press do it. Don't let the show do it. Don't let the other women on the cast do it. Just do whatever you want to do. It was genuine. It was nice. Kyle understood it then, but she didn't like it later.
No.
And that's the problem when she goes on to the after show and she calls her an asshole.
Yeah, which is crazy because why?
Yeah.
Why? Like,
if anybody should be offended by that, it should be Garcelle now.
Yeah.
You don't get to now double down and be more offended about that after what we watched.
It fits your narrative.
Yeah.
It fits your narrative to be upset about this whole thing. And then you bring Sutton back into it. And she's like, and you get mad at Sutton because she didn't jump on the bandwagon to come after me. And Garcelle's like, whoa, first of all, that's between us. Like, that's my friendship with her. That has nothing to do with you. And I'm not mad that she didn't go after you. Mm-hmm. Again, Kyle, you think it's all about you. I'm mad she didn't support me.
Yeah.
That's the issue. My friend didn't have my back when I do it for her all the time. That's literally Garcelle's role, is to defend Sutton because Sutton can't defend herself. And she relinquished that title on the boat, which Kyle tries to use against her as well. But before we get to that part, Sutton again, dude, she's like, I respected that all season. I respected your wishes not to talk about Morgan. Like, I respected that. It's like, who? Like, literally, Garcelle has to feel like she's getting stabbed in the heart.
Yeah.
Like, twice now, you've gone to bat
Insane.
For Kyle. Well, Garcelle's literally saying what the problem is.
Yep.
The problem is that she didn't support me. Kyle, I respected you all season. Did you not hear your quote-unquote friend to your right just say what the fucking problem was, and then you just proved her right? But the most basic way to say it, and we all understand it because it's not rocket science, you brought Morgan on the show. I understand where she's at in life now, but you can't dictate whether or not we discuss it. That's not a thing, because guess what? We all know what you're alluding to when you refuse to say her name. It's not some big secret, like, again, fucking Voldemort, like, ooh, she who must not be named. That's not a thing.
Nope.
We can talk about past experiences from past seasons. You're completely taking something off the board that is still a very large sticking point, and now you're trying to weaponize it against Garcelle, that she's the asshole for trying to talk about it. That's asshole behavior.
That is asshole behavior. It doesn't really make any sense. And we all know what Kyle was trying to do. Last year was an anomaly.
Yep.
We had to talk about Kyle the whole year. She had to grin and bear it, deal with it, and she did a terrible job with it. She just wants to hunker back down, just get back into the shadows, and just be Kyle Richards on this show.
Yep.
This is her show. She wants to control everything.
Yep.
That's all she really wanted. And that's not again, I understand in a nutshell, you want to try to protect Morgan, fine. You should have done that the first season.
You should have done that last year.
You should have done that last year and just not talked about her at all because she didn't agree to come on the show. You've probably forced her to come on the show.
You tattooed her on TV.
You asked her to come on the show. It's not like she thought it was going to be some fun idea. Let me just get on this show. It's going to be so much fun. You understood all the rumors that were going on. You understood everything else going on. You asked her to come on the show. She came on the show willingly.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's in perpetuity now because there's footage of her there. There's all of these things going on. That's Morgan Wade, who we saw on Beverly Hills.
Period.
Still talk about it.
Sorry, that's how this shit goes. You don't get to dictate what we can and cannot discuss. That's fucking stupid. But we get to Sutton and Kyle's relationship in regards to Garcelle. And Garcelle's like, it just feels like Kyle's friendship is very important to her. And it clearly is. And Erika chimes in, again, brings nothing all season and now wants to fucking dive in at the end. She's like, do you expect Sutton to just support you all the time? And she's like, no, I don't need her to do that, but that's what I do for her because that's friendship. Everybody, when you're actually friends with somebody, you do go to bat for them, even when they do stupid shit. And you're like, that was dumb, but I got you. Like, that shit happens. So she's being a friend and expects that in return. And you're all flummoxed by the idea of her wanting Sutton to back her up.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's asshole behavior by everyone else. God damn it. And Kyle's big fucking gotcha is like, well, what about on the boat? You didn't speak up. Tilly didn't speak up. Garcelle made a cognitive decision to not speak up because Sutton has yet to defend her. So when she sat on the boat, she said to herself, not this time, because I'm sick of it. Because the night before, they had the conversation about Kyle and the fact that Sutton didn't defend Garcelle at the dinner table.
All of that is on camera. That whole timeline makes full sense to anybody who has common sense.
Who has watched the show.
Yeah, anybody who has watched the show, but also anybody who understands how that would work. Or sees it in a different light, or in the correct light, rather. I'm not even going to say a different light, because this is the only one way to look at it. She's defended her all the time, which you guys all know about. You guys are all pointing it out. Now she's saying, you know what? If you're going to do this with Kyle, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to defend you. We'll see if Kyle has your back. Very plain and simple.
It was a test.
It is not that hard to figure out.
No.
But it's not one of those situations because Erika is definitely smarter than that. She knows. It's just now fitting the narrative.
Yeah.
We're all going after Garcelle. We're all going to put her in a corner.
Yep.
We're all going to make sure that she feels bad for the things that she's done to us. She hasn't done anything bad to you guys.
Nope.
At all. She's just been on the show and she's asked questions and she's done the right thing. Fine, whatever. Now you're putting her in that corner and it works for you guys to just go after her. And you're now using Sutton against her because Sutton is too much of a pussy to step up. That's really what it is.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. Like, we're watching it. You're watching it play out.
Yeah.
And when Kyle is like, well, why is it my responsibility? Like, why am I getting called out for not defending her on the boat? And Garcelle, and again, I'm like ripping my hair out. And I said this when this happened. We talked about this. She's like, because you're really important to her, Kyle. That's not my fucking problem.
Yeah.
So now Sutton has no friends, by the way, because she has completely shit the bed. But now Kyle's saying, I mean a lot to you. You don't mean shit to me. So why is this my issue?
Yeah.
That's fucking mean.
Sutton's not going to see it.
But Sutton and Garcelle are the mean girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
Sutton's also not going to see it that way. She's still going to be pining for Kyle's friendship next year.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And once again, Kyle's the fucking victim. And the last person we need to hear from, Dorit, jumps in. This is why I gravitated so much towards Boz. I didn't have to question her authenticity. Sick, bro.
Yeah, congratulations.
Go.
You have a friend.
Yeah, you have a friend. And by the way,
I love that that's Garcelle's first response, though.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
I'm happy you have a friend.
I'm happy you have a friend in Boz.
Yeah. We all think it. You finally actually have a friend, and you are so excited to have a friend. You don't have to now throw it in other people's faces.
Maybe Garcelle doesn't want to talk to you because of the list of microaggressions towards her over the past few years.
Yeah,
maybe that's why you guys don't vibe, because you're a fucking idiot and you keep saying stupid shit and she doesn't want to fuck with you. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's nothing to do with quote unquote authenticity, Dorit. You of all people, authenticity, shut up. Shut up. To call out Garcelle here is so pick me, and I'm jumping into, I got you girls, Fox Force 5, rise up, I'm going to get her too. You're not authentic. Shut up. But it leads us right into the break-in. And look, there's two sides to this one. Because yes, Garcelle brings it up during the season on camera. It is a big deal. I'm not going to minimize the fact that this would be a felony for somebody to frame this whole thing. It's insurance fraud. It's a whole lot of shit. So I understand the gravity of the situation. Okay. At the same time, there are way too many inconsistencies for people to not have questions about this. We've talked about it since it happened.
And it's not 4 people on Twitter.
It's 4 million.
Most of the people that are watching the show all have questions.
Even Andy jumps in. He's like, probably because he left the cell phone. Yeah, that or the fact that you don't set your alarm at night because people are walking around the house. I learned when I was a child to press 0, and that means staying in, and then the motion sensors don't go off in the house.
Yeah. Or that it's Teddy Mellencamp's husband that made the security system.
Oh, yeah.
And there's inconsistencies with that because there's other break-ins that have led to that.
Weird.
With that security system. So
fucking
it's
weird.
Very weird. There's enough inconsistencies. And by the way, Dorit, the fact that she's still asking about it, you could easily just say, I'm done with all of that. I've finally gotten through that. Can we just leave it alone?
Nope.
For the love of God? No. The fact that you're getting this up in arms, and again, she does everything. Garcelle talks about this in the right way. I never said that you had anything to do with it. I even said, I don't think that you would have anything to do with it.
That inferred PK did it. I didn't say that.
Nobody's saying that, but we are now.
Now we are.
The more that you talk about it, the more people are going to go, oh yeah, remember that?
I'm thinking about it.
Let's figure this out again. Let's start talking about this again. It's not going to be 4 people on Twitter. It's going to be another 400,000 people talking about this because you're bringing it up again. We could have just let it lie. But you can't let it go.
And her big fucking defense was counterproductive because she's like, my husband must be a sociopath and not give a shit about me, my family, whatsoever to send men in and yada, yada, yada. Yup.
I'm sorry, but Dorit,
Yep.
use your own words against you here. You said he's a shit father and a shit husband. Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
You said it, not us. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about your kids. He's made that very clear. He didn't even call the bank back about a foreclosure. He doesn't fucking care.
Nope.
So you said it. We didn't, but we agree with you. We agree with you. He's a piece of shit. But once again, Sutton, silent. Silent. And you know they've talked about this. You know damn well they've had this fucking conversation. But we break for lunch. Garcelle literally says everyone can go fuck themselves. Hell yeah. As she's walking to her.
She goes fucking scorched earth.
Me too, man. I really hope she goes apocalypse.
She deserves to be able to just look at them all in their face and just go after
Just give them a verbal middle finger.
Yep.
And then walk off the fucking stage and never come back and go to VPR and go live your life and just be successful without the show, which all of these other women cannot do.
Yeah. Which
would be so fucking great. But Garcelle and Sutton. Sutton enters the room. The first fucking word out of her mouth should have been, I'm sorry. I choked up. I'm petrified. I got too nervous. That's my bad.
Yep.
Nope. You kind of threw me under the bus back there.
Woof.
Whoa. What? And the fact that Garcelle is still mellow and still talking to her and still trying to keep it copacetic is astounding.
It's never been more apparent that Garcelle just understands Sutton.
She finally...
How she ticks.
Yeah.
And she's like, whatever.
Yeah, dude, I get it. I know who you are, but I'm not even going to do the Mean Girls thing. I'm not going to get into the Mean Girls thing. And she ends it with a great line. And if this was the last thing she said, if she just left after this too, it would have been really great. Because she's like, fuck you, Erika. Fuck you. Sorry I'm not going through a divorce. Sorry I don't have criminal shit going on. Sorry that I'm self-made. Sorry I came from nothing. Sorry I'm successful. That would have been the best sign-off if she said that on stage and then walked off. But woof, dude. Justice for Garcelle. This was wacky to watch.
Yeah. But let's see what our fans have to say about this. We got some questions in here.
I'm sure there's a billion of them.
Yep. Let's start easy in here from Kelly_Maggie. Do you think Andy can keep his promise not to yawn at Dorit this year?
I hope he doesn't.
I really hope he yawns at some point.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't keep his promise.
Yeah.
That's iconic. We're used to that now.
From Jess_Brum, what exactly does Erika do that makes her interesting?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
She decorates her house.
This is just really nice. I'm going to read this. From MK Emma AMW. No question, y'all are my soundtrack to my commute, and my 3-year-old sings your opening tune.
I still am always conflicted when children are involved because we say so many bad words, but that is very sweet. Thank you so much. And if you're 3-year-old saying fuck now, I apologize.
From Zoe Cudla-Polay, they were harsh on Garcelle, but she needs to drop the break-in theories.
Nah. Look, she's doing her job. We all talk about it. So why can't we talk about it on the show?
I don't get it. I've yet to hear a good defense to the break-in theory. So
we know
until somebody can tell us that nothing happened and it was actually a genuine break-in.
Just explain to me why the phone was left. Genuinely, not because the burglar that held you at gunpoint felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
What?
From Egan's123, do you think that the group already had a plan to take down Garcelle before the reunion?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that looks like that
was a premeditated takedown.
From T Mole 92, do you think Jennifer Tilly will be full-time next year to support Sutton?
Yeah.
She'll probably end up being full-time, support Sutton very loosely. Oh, a lot of people are picking up on the planned Garcelle takedown. Got some astute listeners here.
Love that. Love our listeners.
From Daria PNG, what do you guys think that Kyle told Sutton and Garcelle off camera?
Don't talk about Morgan. She doesn't want to be mentioned on the show.
Don't talk about Morgan. They alluded to like a little bit more, but I don't think it was anything more than really just that. I don't think there's any like juicy secrets in there.
It's just interesting that every time that Kyle has a pressing issue, she does a chess move, just like last season when she texted Dorit the night before the reunion, some sappy fucking text message. Yep. She does. It's just another play from the Kyle Richards playbook that's so played out.
Yeah. From Blackbeard601. Knew it. With Garcelle gone, will Sutton change her behavior?
She's just going to lean further into Fox Force 5.
Yeah, I don't think she can change her behavior.
Yeah, she's just going to keep pining for Kyle.
And then last one here from Christine D. Philippus. Do you think the remaining FF5 members called Lisa Rinna for advice on Garcelle takedown? Probably. Honestly, I actually could see them all meeting, and then Lisa Rinna jumps in. What are we doing tonight?
Yeah.
Ready for the reunion? What do you guys need from me?
She's the silent contributor to that crew. Yeah, I don't
definitely see
I don't
that
put
happening.
anything past them.
All right, well,
but
I'm not even excited for next week's episode. It's just we already know what it's going to be.
Only because
if
I want to see
Garcelle.
Yeah, she deserves it. She deserves one final fuck you to this crew, and then go on your merry way and live your fucking life.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be full on taking on Sutton.
Yeah, dude.
And she can't defend herself. We've watched it.
Nope.
It's not fun to watch.
Nope. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next week. But the future of this show looks very grim. Very, very grim.
Very bleak.
But you got anything else?
Nope.
Well, that's our show. Bro's gotta go.